So we have at least 15 minutes for questions and worries, suggestions. Do you have anyone to begin with? It can be in Spanish as well. Okay, everything is clear? No. Well, if not, I'm going to try to summarize some aspects that are quite important in this round table. First of all, I think it's important to underline the different models that we have within the Mediterranean area. We have seen from Egypt that they have a large number of students, large number of universities, and a system they have some big challenges to try to be more independent in a way, and also they have also strong aspects is that they centralize in Egypt a lot of students from other Arab countries, and at the same time they export students or graduate students, professional to other countries for jobs. And this maybe has some relationship with Turkey or with Morocco is in a change, in another strategy maybe, but Turkey is also a large country with a really increasing number of universities. It has been said that in 10 years you have almost duplicate the number of universities. It means that the system is changing, is enlarging the possibilities, but at the same time, I guess, you have the feeling that you need also more freedom to become independent, to try to elect your rector by one election process, pure election process, not election plus appointment, that may have some positive and negative aspects. You know that in Spain there is a debate in the ministry and try to be provocative, if in case anyone wants to make any comment, that some people believe in the government that we should change of model of governance to more oriented in be efficient and try to, instead of elect or rector, to appoint the rector based on other criteria. So maybe we are also in that debate in Spain. These two models maybe are different from the one in Morocco. Morocco, we see, I'm beginning for the big number of universities to a small number of universities. In Morocco, it has been said that the government is trying to, instead of have more than one public university in one region, just to have only one university. I guess for a lot of us, the idea during the 90s and early in the 21st century, the trend in Spain was to generate new universities. Maybe the new trend is to try to be more efficient again and to identify the strength and cooperation with universities to become relevant at the international arena. And going into the model of Israel, I think is completely different. I think you have only a limited number of universities. Maybe it's just the right size that you need in your country size. And they are very oriented to research universities more than other activities. Even though you are in a big debate, you have made a nice cooking process to try to get a new and attractive Mediterranean dish with different ingredients, and the ingredients still are in a debate. If we should consider that we have equal balance on research and teaching, and if you are good in research, you are also excellent on teaching and vice versa. So that's also a big debate. So I think in most cases we have different perspectives, but at the same time my feeling is that some of those worries in the universities, these challenges, are in the Spanish university system trying to be defined and adapt to the new trends and needs of the population in terms also of efficiency and instead of competitiveness. My second, I cannot say that this is a conclusion, but at least it's an idea, is that one of the main challenges of the university is the internationalization. Internationalization, I think, is a nice word that everybody uses as one of the key elements on the strategies of one university to become different and to be more recognized at the international arena and to be more competitive in general. But internationalization approach is completely different from one university to another. Most of the universities that are really considered international are those who are, let's say, effective and try to react in two directions, one oriented to teaching and the other one oriented to research. For teaching, on excellence in teaching, we have to consider that first of all, we have a challenge in general to use one, as it was said, lingua franca, and that is English. English is more or less a common instrument to become international, just to try to attract students from other countries. Based in our experience at the University of Murcia as well as the Politécnica University of Cartagena, we have seen that during the last 10 years we had a trend of increasing the number of students that want to study abroad, but mostly they want to study and find courses in English, because English is the main common language used in science and also in education. But at the same time, we have a lack of training in the staff. I'm sure that most of us in this meeting, we are following the meeting because we have some acknowledgement, advanced, medium, or basic acknowledgement in English. But in general, the university has a challenge to increase the level of qualification of the professors as well as the staff and the students. And if we have to be honest, the students are pushing very strongly and forward because they are coming from the higher education, from the high school with good skills, good capacities in English, so they are demanding that we have to offer them some training in English, not only outside to stay in another university, but also in-house to offer those courses in English. That's one strategy we have to follow, and I believe that also will increase our capacity to be in network with other universities like EMUNI. Going to EMUNI is an opportunity with a lot of challenges. Opportunity with a large number of members in the network where we can share common projects, even though we have observed that not all of us, maybe 20%, that's a figure that the president gave it to me, that only 20% of the universities in this network has the same common interest and the same level of excellence comparing with other universities. So in general, we still have a lot of challenges to try to build a common Euro-Mediterranean or Mediterranean higher education space. And something is very important is that we can share with them that we have the same interest to cooperate in this process, because it's a process where we have to join to good partners, and these partners, some of them are in this table, and I think for the students and professors, we have to think that Europe is our main area of influence. That's our same land of common interest, but at the same time, we have all the Mediterranean countries where we have to begin to increase our cooperation and mobility. It was mentioned at the end that we have in Morocco, as well as in Turkey, Israel, and in Imuni and Egypt, some Erasmus Mundus program that may help us with this mobility, but it still is very limited. The number is not very high because there is some ideas that there is some linguistic, cultural barrier or scientific barrier, but we have to break those barriers to try to get closer to the countries from the Mediterranean, where we will find a lot of good partners for this interesting voyage or trip. Well, I'm trying to warm up the atmosphere, but it seems to me that we are more hungry than really interested in this talk. But anyway, I would like to give the opportunity to my colleagues to add some of their ideas if they feel that they can add something, or the audience in general, some reflections. Again, it can be in Spanish, or in French, or in Arab. Okay.
¿Quiere? Hola, buenos días. En realidad la pregunta la quiero dirigir a nuestro amigo turco, porque me gustaría saber o preguntar sobre el primer proyecto que ha dicho que es el equivalente de Erasmus. Me he quedado con la pregunta, porque en la tabla que ha puesto dos proyectos que son Farabi y otro que está en turco, no me acuerdo la palabra, pero el primero había puesto equivalente de Erasmus Mundus. Entonces me gustaría saber o conocer el proyecto. Lo siento si mi pregunta está fuera, pero con las ganas de conocer a un sistema, a otro sistema diferente del nuestro en mi país, y cómo muchas veces las pasarelas para conocer son estos proyectos, como acaba de decir nuestro vicerrector, muy agradecido. Entonces me gustaría que nos aclarece un poco qué es este proyecto o qué es equivalente del Erasmus Mundus. Gracias.
I did not understand the question.
Well, she is from Algeria. She has been with us in a visiting training, and also now is working on her PhD. But she is very interested to know about the program that you have in Turkey, similar to Erasmus. How it is, how it works, because Mebala and Farabi are different, but the one that is like Erasmus is, she would like to learn about that.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, as you know, like in Erasmus, basically in European funding, I mean, just the countries chip in. I mean, they just have their contributions. And so what Turkey did, I mean, there was a lot of demand from other countries for cooperation. And they said in Turkey, with the Mevlana program, very similar to Erasmus, that, okay, universities have agreements and countries basically chip in. I mean, they have financial contributions. And then, so you apply to the institutions like universities in Turkey through their Mevlana programs. I mean, if you go to universities' websites, you will see, you know, in the under international office, you will see a Mevlana program as well, just like Erasmus. And then you apply, and so there is sort of like a mutual, the universities, but there has to be an agreement, just like in Erasmus, there has to be an agreement between the universities for exchange. It just works in the same way like Erasmus in Europe. And Farabi is like a national program. Also, you know, like within the country, for example, as a student studying at one Turkish university, I can apply to study for a semester or for a year at another Turkish university, and there is funding from the government. And so it's the same with the teaching staff, it's the same with the graduate students, both in and outside the country. I don't know if this answers the question.
Farabi, more or less, is like our Seneca Sikue. We have one program like that. And, Yahya?
Mi palabra para usted en general, decir muchísimas gracias para invitarnos a estar aquí con ustedes para aprender algo a partir de los congresos tan maravillosos. Segunda parte, decir الحمد لله على السلامة دكتور زهيري أهلا وسهلا بك حضرتك في إسبانيا في مرسيا en general. سعيد ان نشوف حضرتك في هذا الكونغرس اللي está corregido el doctor Gaspar. Y me pregunta sobre cómo voy a encajar un convenio a través de un Erasmus, por ejemplo. ¿Cómo voy a hacer encajar el Erasmus entre este convenio, sabes? Que esta pregunta para usted, por favor.
Bueno, la contesto en español. Evidentemente, el programa Erasmus, como todos los programas europeos, son muy competitivos y hay que presentar un proyecto para que nos hagamos una idea de todos los proyectos que se presentan en Europa. La tasa de éxito de media está en un 10%, puede haber algo más, 15%, 20% en el mejor de los casos. ¿Qué es lo que hay que hacer? Identificar, merced o en base a reuniones o como estas u otra serie de misiones que recibimos o que nosotros realizamos fuera o que nos orientan los profesores, socios estratégicos que nos permitan tener un proyecto que sea campeón o ganador dentro de los que se presentan. La situación ha cambiado. Erasmus Mundus tenía una serie de lotes de países, la Universidad Politécnica de Cartagena como la Universidad de Murcia. En esa estrategia vamos unidos en muchos casos como coordinador o como co-coordinador de estos proyectos, y ahora mismo dentro de Erasmus Mundus tenemos con el Mediterráneo el que denominamos Mare Nostrum, que estamos ya en su segundo año y creo que es la tercera edición de movilidad, nos queda medio año, no ha salido una convocatoria de renovación, pero sí también tenemos con Hacia varios programas. Y tenemos en marcha unas cuantas peticiones que hemos hecho con Israel, que hemos hecho con Latinoamérica y que hemos hecho, ahora estamos preparando una con Japón, Corea, y lo que habría que hacer es, con el MUNI también tenemos otra en marcha, identificar esos socios con un proyecto que sea singular y que tengan las mayores posibilidades de éxito. Estamos en la última convocatoria de Erasmus Mundus y a partir de ahora empieza Erasmus Plus. Ayer mismo había unas jornadas para todo lo que es el levante español, venían desde Castellón hasta Almería, organizadas en Murcia, donde se presentaba todo el abanico de posibilidades de proyectos Erasmus+. Evidentemente la situación cambia en el escenario, tenemos que ir a temáticas de cooperación que apoyen la movilidad y que sean proyectos donde reforcemos con determinados países esa relación. En particular, con Egipto tenemos buenas relaciones, pero no tenemos quizás todavía esa masa y ese proyecto que nos permita integrarlo completamente. Hemos planteado algunos, tenemos que seguir planteando. Tenemos dentro de Mare Nostrum un proyecto para ligar determinadas universidades, que tengamos las mismas características y que nos complementemos al mismo tiempo para buscar la formación en máster de excelencia internacional, dentro de lo que sería un programa estrella en el Mare Nostrum, Campus Mare Nostrum, máster de excelencia internacional, apoyados por programas europeos. Y tenemos que orientar hacia determinadas temáticas. En concreto, temáticas de bellas artes, no tenemos ninguno identificado, pero sería una de las líneas para poder trabajar. En fin, son temáticas que de momento no han aflorado con esa demanda o con esa identificación de oportunidad. Es cierto que estamos trabajando en otras que son más estratégicas para el Mediterráneo. El profesor Javier no lo ha comentado, pero sí hemos hablado durante mucho tiempo de que hay ciertas preocupaciones en los 42 países o 47 países del Mediterráneo ligadas a temas de empleabilidad, a temas de seguridad, a temas de distinta naturaleza interdisciplinares que tenemos que reforzar. Y esa es la estrategia que vamos a seguir hasta donde podamos, siempre y cuando tengamos la posibilidad de hacerlo. Bien, ya sí que los jugos gástricos nos están jugando una mala pasada. I would like to thank again to the members of this round table for the experience, ideas, the common interests. I'm sure we will take note of the conclusion of this roundtable to present tomorrow afternoon at the end in the closing ceremony. I will be in charge of that part of the process, and I'm sure that the audience will, having taken note of these ideas, we will make a summary and we will display on the CMN Campus of Excellence just to reflect whatever we have been talking this afternoon here. I'm sure it will help us just to think about the challenges that we have. I'm sure with all these tools, the University, the Politécnica University of Cartagena, Murcia, all our colleagues here in this table and other colleagues will help us to be more relevant, to show up in the ranking list and increase and climb in this list, to be very well known. And this is just a pleasure for the Campus Mare Nostrum to host you this meeting and this roundtable. And we hope that you will have taken note and learn of this roundtable. And that's all. Just enjoy the lunch and have a good afternoon.